मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna. So there is one interesting uh, episode. This is very relevant to understand. This story we all know, but you can try to understand the deeper meaning. I also got to understand. We can also see what we can understand from this. So what happens is, we know the story of Karna. Karna was born to Kunti before her marriage to from sun god. So we know this story. And yeah, yesterday's note I'll post. Today I'll post. So now what happened is, before the battle of Kurukshetra, because Kunti, she was very unhappy, and she could understand that Karna is my son, and now she's seeing that both are fighting with each other. So then she requests Krishna. Krishna goes and meets personally Karna, and he tells to Karna that you're actually you should be on our side. You are son of Kunti. And Karna was very surprised by hearing this, and then say that you better be on our side. You will become the emperor of the world, and you will be the greatest Kshatriya, and you will become the most important of all, because Yudhishthir personally, he will never agree to rule the kingdom until if he knows that you are his elder brother. So Yudhishthir will hold an white umbrella over you, silken umbrella over you as a royal dignity. Bhima will do chamara for you, and Arjuna will follow you, serve you. He will kiss the ground wherever you kept your feet, and he will take the reins of the chariot and he will drive you. And Karna was shocked. Now, this meaning of this story is very important, because Kunti and Krishna turned to Karna and both told him who really he is and who really he was. That is, and they explained him, you belong to us, you are our man. And Karna replied, what he says, oh, thank you very much, you offered me this, I really liked it, but I am the one who I am, and not somebody else. I have my mother, I have my father, they raised me, they married me, my mother fed me milk, and no, even though she was not pregnant, but out of love, she could feed milk. My father performed rituals. He made me twice born, and then he made me a normal. And Duryodhana he was my friend. He gave me a kingdom. He came to my aid. So now, if I switch over now, everyone will say about me that Karna was scared. Karna went over to the other side. Now Karna says one more important thing. This now it starts. Karna says, I know I will perish. I know the Pandavas will win because you are on their side. And since you are on their side, he's telling to Krishna, we cannot win. I know my chariot will stuck in the ground. I got curse of my spiritual master. And the very moment I need my weapons, they will not come to my aid. And I know I will die. But I cannot do anything. It is better to die as I am than to die as others. Because you offer me to change my but my understanding of who I am is this one. So now the problem part. What is the problem of material attachment is, through material attachment, we define ourselves. This is what is the main problem. And when we lose material attachment, we lose ourselves. So my understanding of who am I is my material attachment. If I lose material attachment, then I lose myself. So this is our death only. So now there are two types of death. This death, one death is of the body, but the death which is more complicated than physical body is to lose oneself, and people don't want to lose. Karna says, see, you can kill my physical body as much as you want, but you cannot part me with my ideas. So this is the point. We cannot part with our ideas about ourselves, because this is my mother, this is my father, they raised me, they are my children, they are my grandchildren, they are my friends, we love them. I don't want to part them. I don't want to be somebody else. So Krishna is standing before us and he says, Are you belong to me and you are eternally connected to me. And no, these are all temporary things. You leave it and come to me. And Karna says, no, I cannot do. Even though it is temporary, they are very dear to me. And even though something is eternal, because he does not understand why we need all these things. Let's say when Krishna is coming and telling, come to eternal, we say, no, 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 these are so important for me. So it is clear that will not end in anything good, but still we are not ready. The end is always some kind of tragedy. It's my own, my dear. You will, Krishna is telling you will become the king, you will rule, you will get an inheritance and eternal spiritual kingdom. Karna says, no way. This is the main problem of spiritual life, because spiritual life requires a fundamental internal restructuring. This is very difficult for people to do. Most people, they're ready for something little changes. They can go for some cosmetic surgery, change their external thing. They can be vegetarian. They can do some other yoga, pranayama, this. But when it comes to changing oneself, that is very difficult. It is very rare somebody who is ready to restore their integrity of spirituality. Very few people are ready, because people are attached to their own material I, and it is full of fear and uncertainty. And also it is weak because it all person people are weak because they always split. So each attachment selects a part of myself and it separates me. That's why spiritual relationship, they integrate ourselves because they have a common center, Krishna. So there is Krishna, there is I. This is the most important thing uh, if I found supporting in my relationship with God. So now material ego, why people are so weak? Because they play different roles and they have given themselves in a different ways. So this is the main reason that happens. So okay, we have some questions on it. So the question is, how can Karna be ungrateful? So it is not real gratitude is actually to knowing that how we are connected to Krishna. That is actually reality. And it looks like very morally, it is look very correct that Karna is going for the side of Duryodhana. Actually, that is not completely true also, because in material relationship there is always exploitation. Why Duryodhana became very very arrogant? Because of support of Karna. He always knows that he can beat Bhima, but he knows nobody is there from my side to beat Arjuna. When Karna came to his side, now Duryodhana understood. Now I have somebody who can beat Arjuna also. So that made him more arrogant. And then Karna was always having this inferiority complex, and Karna was always insecure. And when he got the aid of Duryodhana, he gave him Angarajya. Then Karna said, yes, now I got something. So he had support for his insecurity, and Duryodhana also had some fear and insecurity. Both are supporting each other. So it's in one way, it's an exploitation only. Material relationship is he is having some benefit from Karna, and Karna is getting that benefit from, because he wanted to be a Kshatriya, but his birth was not actually allowing him to be in that level. But when Duryodhana supported him, he said, okay, I'll give you the kingdom. I'll make you the king of Angaraja. Then Karna said, yes, now I can prove myself. So this is the main reason. And another thing is, if we go on a transcendental level, even now, why Arjuna is ungrateful to his own guru Dronacharya, why Arjuna is ungrateful to his grandfather Bhishma, why he is fighting? He is not ungrateful. He is doing what is right. So when it comes to Karna also, he could not make that choice. This is very difficult for him because he was more on a moral ground. But you understand, Sarvadharman Paritidya, surrender to Krishna. This is what Bali Maharaj did. Bali Maharaj, his guru made him to that position. He got all the 3 words because of his guru. And guru is telling, no. He said, no, I will surrender to Krishna. That is appreciated. That's why he became Mahajan. He rejected. If Karna could have rejected Duryodhana and come that side, he will also become Mahajan. But he did not become. He remained Karna only. So that is the difference between Karna and Bali Maharaj. it looks in a moral way that, oh, Karna did a good, and he's also portrayed also in that way, how he was he got injustice and all. But it is not exactly like that. There is always a choice for every living entity to go towards Krishna. And another thing is, many of the wrong activities, like Karna is the one who told to this robe Draupadi. Karna is the one who says. Karna is the one who gives many wrong ideas to Duryodhana. So in many places, Karna was also wrong, and he wanted to be on wrong side, and he was always envious of Pandavas. That is the reason he continued like that. If Karna would have said, "I'll go to side of Pandavas," Duryodhana would have stopped the war only. He said, "Okay, okay, we'll compromise. They let them have some kingdom. We'll also have some kingdom. No war." But because Karna was always backing, that's why Duryodhana got that confidence to fight. Otherwise, there is no chance for it. The question is, both are supporting each other, then how it is exploitation? It is exploitation only when one party is benefiting. Any relation means mutual benefit. Even our relation with Krishna is like that. We feel happy and satisfied serving Krishna, and Krishna also enjoys serving of his devotees. In this case, exploitation is what? Exploitation is, I am utilizing his talents for my enjoyment or my purposes, and the other person is also doing it. This is in the material world. Material world, each other, they want to utilize their things for each other. But when it comes to Krishna, it is not like that. There, it is not the utilization of one's talent to exploit. Now, if Krishna is exploiting Arjuna or Arjuna is exploiting Krishna, no. Krishna is serving Arjuna and he's taking pleasure in service. Whereas when it comes to material world, it is not just service; it's an exploitation, because I am getting benefit from. Now there is no natasya karyam karanam vidyate. For Krishna, there is no need of anything from anyone. He is out of love. He is doing. That's why it is Leela. Like children, they don't have anything to do; they play. Krishna also has not anything to do. So he just expresses his love. It is only out of love he is doing. And Arjuna out of love only. Because Arjuna is also satisfied in his relation. He is just doing out of love for Krishna. So it is not exploitation. In material world, there is always jealousy, envy, and hatred, all these things. That's why there is an exploitation. But in spiritual world, there is no exploitation. Krishna, he is very much concerned. Why he is concerned? Because he don't have any problems. We cannot have that much concern because we are filled with problems ourselves. Our hard disks don't have much space. Maybe little bit we can take care of others, but Krishna can take care of everyone. He don't have any. But in this material world, so the motivation, the motivation of any activity in this material world is fear. Spiritual, the motivation is love. Now Karna is insecure. If you see the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya out of fear. Duryodhana is going to Dronacharya out of fear. Arjuna is going to Karna out of fear. Arjuna is going to Krishna out of fear. All three situations there is fear. But when it came to Arjuna, he immediately surrendered. He said, "Okay, Krishna, now I surrender." So when we go to Krishna, then the motivation for our activity is not fear, it is love. Whereas in case of Duryodhana and Karna, there is always the internal fear, because bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshatasya. The inherent fear is there in all living entity, whoever is in the material world, because they are seeing bhayam dvitiya. They see things separate from Krishna. That's why there is fear. The motivation, why there is greed in this world? Greed is how? Because when you remove Krishna, there is vacuum. When vacuum is there, then what is the nature of vacuum? It pulls everything. So it is pulling. So greed is what? You want to replace everything with Krishna and you want to have more and more. So all these qualities which come this is out of fear only. But in spiritual world, there is no question of fear. There is question of exploitation. Then that is motivation is love. So that is the main difference. So Krishna doing and living entity doing, with the living entity and Krishna, the relation is love. Motivation is love. Shodamai Just only love. Krishna is doing all the pastimes just to please Yashodamai. There's no, this is not there only this. So it is like that. Clear? I have one more question. But it is Kshatriya's nature to not step back from war. Yeah, he can fight for right cause also. You want to fight, he can fight on the side of Pandavas also. So it is not, you can it is not promise. It is just an agreement that you help me, I'll help you. But if you are seeing for a right cause, and he could have counseled, okay, now I'm. What did Balram do? He just said, okay, I'm going to pilgrimage. I don't want to support anyone. Karna could have done, okay, pilgrimage. I don't want to support. If he could not fight against Duryodhana, he could have left. But he didn't do it. He continued to remain on wrong side. This is the nature of material attachment. So to change is very difficult for everyone. They all have their own. To go to Krishna, Krishna is asking, come, live. They said no. So this is some part. I'll send the notes, and tomorrow I thought we'll discuss something on fear, because here Gomata, she's telling fear and about doubt. We'll see. There are some points, because today I'm talking about material dualities. This is some nice and important understanding we all need to know. What is the difference of spiritual world and material world? Why the relation in spiritual world is not of exploitation? So this anyway we touch. So I'll elaborate tomorrow. Why material relation is anything is exploitation only to very greater extent. Very relation between mother and child for few months, very small childs. That is the only state where there is pure love. Remaining all is not so much. So we'll discuss. He is insecure. He want to be a Kshatriya, but he is not, because he is not born. He is actually a Kshatriya, but he is born in a, according to them, he is born for a chariot driver. So that's why he was always having that insecurity, because he wanted to learn, and then he was not taught. Then he goes to Parshuram and he says, actually I am a Brahmana, and he learns everything. And then then later on Parshuram know that no, your behavior looks like a Kshatriya. He curses him. So Karna was always having this insecurity. So that is the cause. Yeah, insecurity is also because of fear. All bad qualities that we get in this material world, first reason is fear only, because we see things separate from Krishna. Tomorrow we will discuss about. Sutavacha tatra gopitanam raja anyamanam anantavat dandahastam cha arsalam dadrishe nrupalanchanam. So we are going parallel. So we'll see what Prabhupada is telling on the same shloka. Jyoti Goswami said, after reaching that place, Maharaj Parikshit observed that the low caste Shudra, dressed like a king, was beating a cow and bull with a club as if they had no owner. We'll see what Prabhupada is writing on this. The principal sign of age of Kali is that the low caste Sudras, that is men without Brahminical culture and spiritual initiation, will be dressed like administrators or kings. And the principal business of such non-Kshatriya rulers will be to kill the innocent animals, especially the cows and the bulls, who shall be unprotected by their masters, the bona fide Vaishyas and mercantile community. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Vaishyas are meant to deal in agriculture, cow production, and trade. In the age of Kali, the degraded Vaishyas, the mercantile men, engage in supplying cows and bulls to the slaughterhouses instead of protecting them. The Kshatriyas are meant to protect the citizens of the state, whereas the Vaishyas are meant to protect the cows and bulls and utilize them to produce milk and grains. The cow is meant to deliver milk and the bull is meant to produce grains. Thus, the cow and bull are the mother and father of the human beings. A mother and father must be given all protection and are not to be killed. But in the age of Kali, the Shudra class of men are in the post of administrators, and the cows and bulls are the mothers and fathers. Unprotected by the Vaishyas are subjected to slaughterhouses organized by the Shudra administrators. So what happens? Instead of protecting them, they are sent to slaughterhouses, and their place is replaced by missions. So they produce everything. Nowadays, they can, with chemicals also, they produce all this milk powder and all. They don't need any cow also to have milk powder. and then they have missions to make the fields cultivate. Now there is no question of no need of bull only. The bulls are anyways sent to slaughterhouses, and cows are also replaced with so many other types of cool drinks and soft drinks and what all drinks are there. So people stop drinking milk, and then they are okay with some. They have this artificial, all these supplementary drinks and all. So people go with supplementary drinks uh, instead of cow milk. So they have nice replacement. Then what is the use of cows? Lend it to slaughterhouses and eat them. This is actually what is the system now. And this is the bull was uh, as white as a white lotus flower. He was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him, and he was so afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and urinating. Prabhupada is writing, the next symptom of age of Kali is the principles of religion, which are all spotlessly white like the white lotus flower, will be attacked by the uncultured Shudra population of the age. They may be descendant of Brahmanas or Kshatriya forefathers, but in the age of Kali, for want of sufficient education and culture of Vedic wisdom, such a Shudra-like population will defy the principles of religion, and persons who are religiously endowed will be terrified by such men. They will declare themselves as adherents of non-religious principles, and many isms and cults will spring up in Kali Yuga only to kill the spotless bull of religion. The state will be declared to be secular or without any particular principles of religion, and as a result, there will be total indifference to the principles of religion. The citizens will be free to act as they like without respect for sadhus, shastra, and guru. That the bull was standing on one leg indicates that the principles of religion were gradually diminishing. Even the fragmental existence of religious principles will be embraced by so many obstacles as if in the trembling condition of falling down in this. Actually, very important point. This is very we should be very properly understanding. This is the symptom of age of Kali. So many isms are coming, so many different parties, so many different ideas, communism, capitalism, and a bigger level and a smaller level also. So many people have their own ideas of what is right, and they form a party. They want to run the government, they want to rule the people, and but what they are doing is they kill the spotless bull of religion. This is actually what is happening. No matter how many people come, because they are not having respect for sadhu, shastra, and guru. That is the reason they are actually not able to do anything good for the citizens. Like what happens is one I met one person in North India. He said, how can you wear this dress and go, because sadhus are not respected? So how are you wearing this dress? Is you don't you feel little uneasy wearing this dress? This is actually the situation now. People are little because the sadhus are not respected, and whoever is sadhu, their behavior is also not very much appreciated. Of course, they also don't believe. And then what happens is people have their own understanding of what is right and what is wrong, and everybody has their own opinion, and then everything is very chaotic. It is very difficult for people to explain anything right, and there is always a dispute because there is no common basis for anything right or wrong. Like now, people are fighting that man and man can marry, woman and woman can marry, and it is such a degradation. But people are ready to fight for it, and they have big protests and all these things they do, and big companies they sponsor that all the people in all the employees in the company should accept this. Why they feel that this is liberalism, you should be open, you should be free, life is meant to enjoy, and know what all things. Now what is happening is, because there is no basis. On what basis you will say this is right or wrong? Because you say my opinion is, your opinion it is right, their opinion is wrong, so let us compromise. Let us say, okay, you can have your opinion, you can have your opinion, both of can be right. That is not possible. Only abortion, to kill the child every day, hundreds of children are killed in just one city of Hyderabad, in the womb of mother. Now who is responsible. Everybody says, yeah, they don't like it, but because there is no basis whether it is right or wrong. Some say it is right, some say it is wrong. See, if they don't want, why they should be forced, let it be. So there is no standard only. Then what happens? Not everybody is going to properly help. That is what is happening. And then that means the principle of religion, though there is no religion only, there is no dharma. And this is, although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles on her, she was now rendered poor and calfless. Her legs were being beaten by a Shudra. There were tears in her eyes, and she was distressed and weak. She was hankering after some grass in the field. So Prabhupada is writing the next symptom of Kali Yuga. So in the first case about the cows and bulls, second was about dharma, and because so many isms come, and now third Prabhupada is telling in the distress condition of cow. Milking the cow means drawing the principles of religion in a liquid form. The great rishis and munis would live only on milk. Srila Sukadeva Goswami would go to a householder while he was milking a cow, and he would simply take a little quantity of it for subsistence. Even 50 years ago, no one would deprive a sadhu of a quarter or a two of milk, and every householder will give milk like water. It is the duty of every householder who is a Sanatanist, a follower of Vedic principles, to have cow and bulls as household paraphernalia, not only for drinking milk but also for deriving religious principles. The Sanatanist worships cow or religious principles and respects Brahmanas. The cow milk is required for the sacrificial fire, and by performing sacrifices, the householder can be happy. Not only is the cow with her calf beautiful to look at, but the calf also gives satisfaction to the cow, and so she happily delivers as much milk as possible. But in the age of in the Kali Yuga, the calves are separated from the cows as early as possible for purpose which may not be mentioned in these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. The cow stands with tears in her eyes. The Shudra milkman draws milk from the cow artificially, and when there is no milk, the cow is sent to slaughterhouses. These greatly sinful acts are responsible for all the troubles in the present society. See, the trouble is, and what happens now? These sinful activities are manifested in form of the extremist people. The extremist people that are coming in the society and they are giving trouble to so many other people. Where are they coming from? That is the manifestation of the karma of the whole citizens of that state. Now, so many in the WhatsApp messages come, in some cities are burned because of this extremist. Why they are burned? This is all the sinful activities. And France, Prabhupada says, is the most people are so much interested in sense gratification. And now the result is you have to pay for it. You will pay in terms of these extremists will come and do all these things to you. Because you killed so many animals, you are eating just left, right, center for no reason. You are just killing them and eating them. And then what can I expect? The greatly sinful, and then all the troubles are because of that. People cannot understand the relation between what they're getting and what they did. They think, oh, this is injustice. Array, what you did also is like that only. They cannot see the connection. Now it will happen to India also. It will happen to every country. Whoever had done it, it is not that, oh, see, we are so nice. Nobody is nice. You are all killing so many animals. So you have to pay for it. And not only animals, the children in the womb are also killed. And not only that person who did, the whole society will pay for it. Why whole society? Because they are not stopping them doing it. You are all approving it. Nobody is speaking against it. Then if you don't speak, then you are responsible for it. Because you accepted it. If I don't say it is wrong, then I'm accepting it. I'm accepting means I also get some share of it. That's all. That's why we have to preach. We have to tell some enlightenment we have to do. Otherwise, we'll be part of the problem of this society. People do not know what they are doing in the name of economic development. The influence of Kali will keep them in darkness of ignorance. Despite all endeavor for peace and prosperity, the people will fail to achieve them unless they try to see the cows and bulls happy in all respects. So there is no question of peace and prosperity until cows and bulls are protected. Foolish people do not know how to earn happiness by making cows and bulls happy. But it is a fact by the law of nature. Let us take it take it from the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam, adopt the principle for the total happiness of humanity. The happiness formulas are very simple, but people are little, uh, they are so much ignorant. And this is Maharaj Parikshit, well equipped with arrows and bows and seated on a golden embrossed chariot, spoke to him, the Shudra, with a deep voice resounding like a thunder. An administrator head or king like Maharaj Parikshit with full majestic authority will equip with weapons to chastise miscreants, can challenge the agents of age of Kali. Then only will it be possible to counteract the degraded age. And in the absence of such strong executive heads, there is always disruption of tranquility. The elected show bottle executive head, as representative of a degraded public, cannot equal with a strong king like Maharaj Parikshit. This is a very nice statement. You can remember this. The elected show bottle executive head are representative of a degraded public. The public are all degraded and this fellow is show bottle. Cannot equal to Maharaj Parikshit. The rest are a style of a royal order does not count. Its own action which are counted. And then next shloka says, "Oh, Parikshit Maharaj asking Kali, who are you? You appear to be strong, and yet you dared kill within my protection those who are helpless. By your dress, you pose yourselves to be a man, uh, God King. But your deeds, you are opposing the principles of wise-born Kshatriyas." Prabhupada is telling, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishyas are called wise-born because for these higher classes of men, there is one birth by parental conjunction and there is another birth by cultural rejuvenation by spiritual initiation from the bona fide acharya or spiritual master. So a kshatriya is also twice born like a brahmana and his duty is to give protection to the helpless. A kshatriya king is considered to be a man, God or representative of God for giving protection to the helpless and chastising the miscreants. Whenever there are anomalies in this routine work by the administrators, there is an incarnation of Lord to re-establish the principles of godly kingdom. In the age of Kali, the poor, helpless animals, especially the cows, which are meant to receive all sorts of protection from the administrative heads, are killed without restriction. Thus, the administrative heads, under whose no such things happen, are representatives of God in name only. Such powerful administrators are rulers of poor citizens by dress of office, but factually they are worthless, low class men without the cultural assets of the twice born. No one can expect justice or equality of treatment from only once born, spiritually uncultured, low class. Therefore, in the age of Kali, everyone is unhappy due to the maladministration of the state. The leaders of modern human society are not wise born by spiritual culture. Therefore, the people's government administered by people who are not wise born governed, must be a government of Kali in which everyone is unhappy. So this is a most important thing. So because people are unhappy, they don't know what to do and they elect also based on what they get benefited. They don't see any spiritual benefit. Because when Prabhupada started, the disciples of Prabhupada started one party, in God we trust. And they got some 1,000 votes, I think, in the party. So they told Prabhupada, we got only 1,000. Prabhupada said, wow, at least 1,000 people are there who are accepting it, they are believing in it. So that is the point. So we'll just do few more. You rogue, you dare beat an innocent cow because Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the carrier of Gandiva bow, are out of sight. Since you are beating the innocent in a secluded place, you are considered a culprit and therefore deserve to be killed. So he's saying and he's giving the judgment, I'm going to kill you. In the civilization where God is conspicuously banished and there is no devotee warrior like Arjuna, the associates of the age of Kali take advantage of this lawless kingdom and arrange to kill innocent animals like the cows in slaughterhouses and secluded slaughterhouses. Such murderers of animals stand to be condemned to death by order of a pious king like Maharaj Parikshit. For a pious king, the culprit who kills an animal secluded place is punished by the death penalty, exactly like a murderer who kills an innocent child in a secluded place. They do in public only nowadays. They don't. So this chapter is little painful chapter because it tells in what situation we are. It looks so every time, every paragraph Prabhupada is telling the same. Same means he is trying to make us understand, and because it is what we are going through in this present age, and it is little sometimes depressing that we cannot do anything in this situation, and yeah, what we can do best is we can protect ourselves and get out of this material world, because we cannot do. And another important thing, this Kali Yuga comes every uh, this is the four yugas. Kali Yuga is there. So every time it happens. It's not just now it is happening. Every Kali Yuga it happens. And then the time goes away, and then next Yuga comes. Till that time we have to wait. And but it's a very long time. Then Maharaj Parikshit asked the bull. So he said the Kali, hey, I'm going to punish you. Then he's asking bull, okay, who are you? Are you a bull as white lotus? Are you a demigod? You have lost 3 of your legs and moving only on 1 leg. Are you some demigod in the form of bull who are uh, causing us to grieve? So at least up to the time of Mara Parikshit, no one could imagine the wretched condition of cows and bulls. Maharaj Parikshit therefore was astonished to see such a horrible scene. He inquired whether the bull was not a demigod, assuming such a wretched condition to indicate the future of the cows and bulls. Actually, this is the point here. It is not that time Parikshit Maharaj's time the cows and bulls are not like that. This actually is indication of the future, that this is going to happen to the future cows and bulls. When Maharaj Parikshit kingdom, nobody did. This is actually, it is happening in a subtle plane. It is not happening directly also. Maharaj Parikshit is not directly seeing it. We heard from Vishnu Chakrada. He is seeing it at a subtle level it is happening, and that level only is able to punish. And in subtle level, he's seeing the future of what is going to happen to bulls and cows. So now for the first time in the kingdom, well protected with the arms of the king of Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Until now, no one on earth had ever shed tears because of royal negligence. The protection of the lives of both human beings and animals is the first and foremost duty of a government. The government must not discriminate in such principles. It is simply horrible for a pure-hearted soul to see organized animal killing by the state in this age of Kali. Maharaj Parikshit was lamenting for the tears in the eyes of the bull, and he was astonished to see such an unprecedented thing in his good kingdom. Men and animals were equally protected as far as life was concerned. That is the way in God's kingdom. And if you see Prabhupada, he's seeing all these things happening, and he's seeing how when he go to America also, he saw all these things happening. Cows are sent to slaughterhouses. But Prabhupada did not just do cow protection job. He did preaching of Krishna consciousness. For us also, we should keep this as the main thing. We should go on preaching Krishna consciousness, even though we know that the society is very degraded and things are very bad. But we cannot do much. We can do little cow protection. We can have our farm and we can have some. But that should not be the only thing. We should. Some people who are dharmic, they may go in that direction. For us, focus is Krishna consciousness. O son of Surabhi, you need lament no longer now. There is no one to fear this low-class Shudra. And O mother cow, as long as you live as a ruler and subduer of all investment, there is no cause for you to cry. Everything will be good for you. So this is a Kshatriya. Kshatriya can give the self of assurance. And even if he is not, he may die, but he will make sure that he is going to give protection. That is why people were able to depend on Kshatriyas. Why they were dependent? Because they know this person, once he gives a word, he may die, but he will never break the word. That is main thing for a Kshatriya, because that is not any democratic rule. That was autocracy. And people voluntarily accepted his authority. They said, yes, you are our boss. And then Kshatriyas, they were ready to sacrifice their life for protecting their citizens, no matter whatever happens. And they were given such type of facilities to enjoy also. Kshatriyas have so much luxury, they can have any number of wives and they can maintain. They were given some facility, but when war comes, they are the first person to stand. They have enjoyed, but they pay also for it. That is a Kshatriya. And when the opportunity to fight comes, they will never hesitate. If he's hesitating, he's not a Kshatriya only. But if you see the pleasure they enjoy also is that level. That's how it is. There is a balance. Brahmanas don't enjoy much, and they are also not in the front for doing. They are doing yajan, yajan, tapan, patan, patan. They do tapasya, and they teach people also same thing. And they don't enjoy facilities, but they enjoy respect. Brahmanas are given so much respect because they perform austerities. That's why they are given respect. And Vaishyas, they have some enjoyment. They take risk, do business. Shudras, they don't want to take risk. They work under somebody, take salary, and then there is no much respect for them. So this is how the of course respect is there, but not like for as it is given to Brahmanas or Kshatriyas. So every area there is balance, what they do and what they get. So here Parikshit Maharaj, he's say giving full assurance. I am there, I'll give protection. That means they cannot tolerate. They will die, but they cannot tolerate it. Like Arjuna wanted to protect the child of the Brahmana. He could not do it. He said, okay, I am entering into fire. I could not do it. What I gave, Krishna said, wait a minute, you will bring it back. So Krishna took him to Mahavishnu. That is actually the point. So they may do they can go to any extent to keep their word. Protection of bulls and cows and all other animals can be possible only when there is a state ruled by an executive head like Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit addressed the cow as mother, for he is a cultured twice-born Kshatriya king. Surabhi is the name of cow who existed in the spiritual planets and are especially reared by Lord Sri Krishna himself. As men are made after the form and features of the Supreme Lord, so also the cows are also made from the form of the features of Surabhi cow in the spiritual kingdom. In the material world, the human society gives all protection to human beings, but there is no law to protect the descendants of Surabhi who can give all protection to men by supplying the miracle food, milk. But Maharaj Parikshit and Pandavas were fully conscious of the importance of cow and bull, and they were prepared to punish the cow killers with all chastisement, including death. There was some there has sometimes been agitation for the protection of cow, but for want of pious executive heads and suitable laws, the cows and bulls are not given protection. The human society should recognize the importance of cow and the bulls and thus give all protection to their important animals. Following the footsteps of Maharaj Parikshit, for protecting the cows and Brahmanical culture, the Lord, who is very kind to the cow and Brahmanas, will be pleased with us and will bestow upon us real peace. We'll just read one of this very big. So we'll end here. Thank you all very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we will do no questions, comments. So we will do this period. Hare Krishna.